कोई नहीं, ठीक है। चेक। एपी देखना आ रहा है सिग्नेचर एक बारी। 8 नंबर पे, 8 नंबर डाल दिया मैंने फैंटम। ठीक है ना।
तू देख,
Hey, hey, hey,
देखो लग
hey.
रहा है।
Hey, this one. Hey, this one too. Check. Hey, this one.
खुशी जो रिजल्ट ऐसा आएगा वो विंडोज ही रहेगा, मैक ये मैक नहीं रहेगा। उसका कनेक्शन ये लगा के रखना। हाँ ठीक है।
Hey, this
ओके, अब नहीं आ रही।
this one. Hey, check.
check 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 1 check 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 hey check 1 mic test check 1 1 1 2 check 1 2 तो है कहाँ कहाँ रखे हुए? Hey 1 check mic test 1 1 1 1 check mic test थोड़ा वॉल्यूम खोलो ना यार वो तो बोल ले अच्छा हेलो चेक 1 2 चेक 1 1 चेक चेक हे 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 1 चेक माइक टेस्ट 1 चेक हे 1 एक्सएलआर में क्या करना है चीक 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 Hey, one T, mic test. One T, mic test. Want to check?
स्टेज पे जाएंगे उनके माइक पे थोड़ा
1 2
बोलेंगे
3
और
4
फिर हम
5
रिवाइज
6
करेंगे
7 8 9 10. One T check.
वो
Hey,
तो मैं हूँ ना
one
मैं
two.
आपको बताऊंगी मैं एक बार खड़े रहती हूँ
Hello, check. One
आप
T,
कर लो
one T. One two, mic test. One to check. Hey. One T, mic test.
और पीपीटी लैपटॉप कौन सा है हाँ मेरे को
Hey. One to check. Mic test. One. Hello. Check. One T. Check. Hey. One. Test. Mic test. Hello. Check. Hey. One T. Hello. Hey. One. One T. Check. Sound check. One two. Mic test. Hey. One two. Mic test. Check. One. Hey. One. T. Check. One two. Hey. One two. Check. Mic test. Hey. One two. Check. One two. Check. Mic test. अरे हटा तो रहा हूँ भाई, बोलने के आगे सुन भी लिया करो यार। एक बार बोल दिए ना हटाने के लिए तो हटा तो रहा हूँ यार। एक्सला निकालेगा नहीं दो पोडियम के बीच में।
Test 1 2. Check. Sound check. Check. Hello. Check. Recorder में सुनने गया हूँ. Check 1 2. Check. Sound check. Check. Hello. Levels check 1 2. Check. Test 1 2. Check. Sound check. डाउन करो, बहुत ज़्यादा आँख में लग रहा है. कम करो, आँखों में लग रहा है. थोड़ा सा और कम होगा. हाँ ठीक है. देख ले कैमरे में, देख लो आप. बढ़ा लेगा ना ब्राइटनेस, तो देख लियो अपने हिसाब से. अभी मैं इस तरफ ही खड़ा हूँ. भाई इसको ऑन कर दो वापसी. कम करो देवेंद्र जी. आँख में लग रहा है. लग रही है आँखों में यार. Check 1. Check. Some check 1. Levels check 1 2. Check. Hello. Test 1. Check. Sound check. Check. Hello. अब ठीक है. Check 1. Check. Sound check. Hello. Testing 1. Check. हमिंग चेक कर लेना आप. Check 1. Sound check. Check. Hello. Testing 1. Check. Levels check 1 2. Check. Sound check. Check. Hello. Test 1. Check. Hey, check. Check 1. Check 2. Check. Hey, test. Testing 1. Check. Test 1. अरे इनको नहीं करना, तो मैडम चेक कर रही है वहाँ पर यार. हाँ ठीक है.
और कम कर. 30% रहने दे बस. ना ठीक है.
Hey. This one. Test. Hey. Check. Hey, this. Sound check. Levels check. 1, 2. Check. Hello. Sound check. Hello. This one. Check. Hello. This 1, 2. Check. Sound check. Check 1. Hey. Sound check. Check. Hello. Check. Levels check. 1, 2. Kushi. Kushi. Check 1, 2. Check. Hello. This one. Hey. This one. Hello. Check.
for making it. I know we are still filling in the room, but I thought I'll kick it off before we get to the meat of today's session with Varun and Sanjeev. I thought I'll set some little bit of a context into what we are going to talk about. First of all, I think all of you are, I know like some of you are familiar friends here, but it will sound like I'm preaching to the choir. But you are aware that we live in some of the most interesting time, not only in our generation, but overall of what humanity has seen till now. And I think what is important, the shift that has really taken off in the last, I would say between 6 and 12 months, is this whole wave on agentic. And if you really think about it, and if you dial back into history on when this whole wave on generative AI sort of kicked off, very early days, it was still a tool where you could ask a question and get an answer from it, right? Asking a question and getting an answer from a tool is valuable, is immensely valuable, but it doesn't create economic value. If you distill what economic value truly is, and economics truly is, it is services and goods, right? And that intervention, that chat GPT wave, chat GPT era, didn't create any economic value. With agentic, the fact that this brain of the system or this capability and this intelligence can connect to other systems and do tasks on your behalf and execute on your behalf is what is truly empowering sort of, that economic activity and pushing those boundaries ahead. So I think where we are right now with the age of agentic is the fact that now we are seeing truly massive economic value getting unlocked through generative AI, through agentic. And it is not another buzzword, it is not another hype. I think what Varun and Sanjeev will show to you today that it is real. It impacts every single process, every single business process, that it touches the lives of every single enterprise worker in your organization. It powers through every single workflow that you have ever imagined. And I think now is the time when you will also start to reimagine workflows and reimagine business processes with the use of this technology. Google is, for sure, at the cutting edge and the leading edge of this innovation. We are investing into multiple facets of how this agentic era will come to life. 2 or 3 things. One is we are investing deeply into research on how these agentic systems will sort of interplay with each other. We have adopted MCP, and I think we'll talk a little bit about all of that later in the session today. On how these agentic systems sort of talk to backends. We sort of announced, I think last year in I/O, Google I/O event last year, we announced a protocol called A2A, which is how agents talk to each other, agent-to-agent protocol. That's become sort of industry standard now. There are other protocols that we are researching, investing in, and contributing back, including the payments protocol, the commerce protocol, and so on and so forth, right? So all these protocols put together will define the language in which these agents will interplay, talk to each other, talk to backend systems, and get that work done on your behalf in a safe, secure, grounded, enterprise-ready sort of system. We have also invested deeply into a platform called Gemini Enterprise, which sort of brings all of this together and the very hard plumbing that you have to do, it brings all of that together at one place. So without further ado, I would seek your attention for the next about 50 minutes, and I will hand it over to my colleagues, Varun and Sanjeev to take you through this journey, through this agentic journey, on how we are sort of imagining this, both in the context of personal productivity, enterprise readiness, and governing and managing these agents at scale. So thank you again for coming this early.
Something on the lines of what Naren mentioned, right? Uh, how do you actually make sure that your transformation is really happening at your workplace, right? And agentic transformation is what we call it, right? Uh, if you can have the slides up, please. Awesome, thank you. So essentially what we want to do is take you through a journey where we show you how do you power your agentic workforce, right? You transform your existing workforce into an agentic workforce. Make sure that the agents do the work for you instead of just, and with doing that, you'll be able to scale a lot of your operations, right? So yeah, so just building on what Naren said, right? We started about a year back from now, probably 2 years back from now, enterprises and organizations started picking up and using chatbots, right? A way to ensure that they were able to reach out to their customers, probably also internally use some tools which people could collaborate on, right? But more or less, it did not reach a place where it could turn into an economic outcome for your organization. So it started here, right? Traditional workflows. We had the erstwhile apps, which are not so traditional technically, but maybe running on containers. Then came in chatbots. You could reach and just talk to a chatbot. An LLM would be able to answer most of the questions, right? Now what we are seeing today, the wait and see era of just using the chatbots and not converting it into an economic outcome has changed, right? Organizations that we are working with some of you already in the room, some of you maybe that you'll meet outside and through the course of the day, you'll see how we are trying to make that happen as well, right? Now, how do you do this? Like, so we all know, right? I just spoke. LLMs have a lot of knowledge, right? They'll be able to answer most of the general world, not general knowledge sort of questions. But how does that help me, right? Or how do I power that LLM to make sure that it is able to work on my behalf? It is able to understand what my organization is doing, what the processes are within that organization, and how do I make sure that these processes are then automated and run by agents automatically. So where we could reach out to only 1 customers or 10 customers, how do we scale it 10x, 20x, even 100x at some times, right? So this is how I see a normal day. Whenever even I go through it, all of us are well aware that when we start our office systems, it could be laptops, desktops, mobile systems that we have access to, we generally go through a lot of tools, right? So for example, whenever I log in, the first thing I'll do is check my emails, right? Then I'll probably try and chat with my colleagues there, try and collaborate on a particular product or a project that I may be working on. Then I go to my CMS systems, maybe my ERP systems, everything, right? CRM systems, get some input from there. Again, go back to my colleagues, say, this is how I see it. Can we do this? Then I probably create a document, a project plan, whatever, right? And then again, so what technically I'm doing is I'm switching between a lot of these tools, right? So I started with my email, then I went on to a collaboration tool, then I went to creating a document, which could be another tool itself, going into CRMs, getting the information, based on that information, creating a document or recreating a document, right? So essentially, all of this is something that is in my head currently, right? So I know where to go, what to do. and then I have to do the heavy lifting of creating the document also, or probably just understanding the relevant part of what project am I talking about, what do I need to do, what do I need to build on, right? That's what we call as enterprise context. Anything related to the enterprise that I'm working for, and if there is sort of a context that I need to understand, I'll go on to my office organization tools only, right? Now, what if we could power all of these enterprise systems with the LLMs that you have within a security wall to make sure that the agent is now able to understand the entire context, right? If you don't have this today, what we are seeing also, rather what we started seeing last year is people started creating agents individually. Let's say some agent would only create a document where you'll again provide some context, some information, some prompt. It'll go ahead and create a document for you. Then you'll come out, paste that content somewhere else. It'll go to your CRM system. It may or may not have an AI system, so on and so forth, right? We wanted to bring this all together, right? Think about that one brain that has all the information along with the power of LLMs that can get the work done for you. So instead of I asking and going through different sort of interfaces every time, I just go to that one interface, search for documents, create probably agents which can actually do the work for me on my behalf, so on and so forth, right? Now, that's what we call as an agentic platform, right? So think of the agent platform having these 4 things as a basic to do all the work that it wants to do, right? So number 1, it should have shared enterprise-wide context, not individual context in silos, like I mentioned, which is full context across all the users and all the product. When I say context about the user, if an AI agent knows that I am an AI practice engineer, it'll start answering it as such, right? If it knows that I'm a marketing head, it'll start answering it as such. So it should also know who is the user that is asking for this information. Same with the context. If it knows that I'm working on a marketing, let's say creative, that needs to be for X product, this product is going to be launched in the next 2 weeks. This is the genuine targeted audience that we have. This is the sort of kind of audience that we want to reach out to. It has the full context. We then go on to multiple agents, right? I have created an agent for me. Sanjeev would have created an agent for himself. Do these agents talk to each other? Naren already spoke how we established that a year back by putting out protocols like A2A, right? Protocols like UCP, still coming up, and a lot of users are already using this. So all agents, whenever I create an agent and one of my colleagues create an agent, they should be able to talk to each other, right? Give the context, pass on the context without me needing to again intervene there. Then comes the user interfaces. The important thing, and rather why we spoke about chatbots, is because we don't want the user interface to be one way of communication, right? Generally what happens is a lot of us are on the field also, right? Not everyone will have a laptop. Not everyone will have a laptop with internet outside. But one thing we do have always is our mobile phones, right? Is it possible that I can actually go ahead and create these agents directly from the mobile phone? Is it possible that instead of chatting, I can put in my voice using my mobile phone? That can actually go and trigger or do some work for me, right? So instead of just chatting, there should be multiple options available for me to talk as a user for this particular platform, right? So how do we as humans interact with the agents is something we'll have to make it more accessible, and that's what this platform does as well. And then the last part, which is the most complex part, right? How do you orchestrate? So think about, I think we are about 30 people in this room. If all of us have created 3 agents, we would be close to around 100 agents, right? 90, 100 agents. Someone in our ISG, security, ops teams will manage these agents. How do you make sure there is a security that is contained and all our organizational data is contained within that security wall, right? How do you manage 90 agents? Is there a way that I can figure out, I can run security analysis for all of these agents, redeploy, do a version 2, do a version 3 for these agents, right? It should be seamless as well. So for the people who are working in the background, the admins, the ops teams, the security teams, it should be easier for them to manage the number of agents that we'll try and create all of us, right? That becomes the orchestration part. So when you put all of this together, we thought a platform like Gemini Enterprise, along with the seamless connectivity and the integration that it has with Google Workspace, can completely transform the way that we work, right? Think about the example that I've given, starting from going and checking my emails, reading that email, knowing what task is assigned to me for a particular day or what I should be working on, even assuming and automatically understanding which is a more priority item that I should pick up from the list of many items that I may have, right? And then automatically going and triggering and executing that for me. That's something that we called as agentic workforce transformation. All what we need is that one single platform that can bring all of this together. We already know. Yes, please. Correct. Yes.
Be similar to that, but it would be more specific and more like customized to whatever you
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a combination of both. It'll be definitely more specific. Remember, when you try and so I'll give you a brief, right? The point is that this is, like I mentioned, most of these agents which you see outside will be limited to a particular application. And that's what exactly we don't want, right? We don't want the agents to run in silos. If you have an XYZ agent that is running only in your Office connectivity suite, that is, let's say, not connecting to your SAP system or your databases which power maybe your entire commercial business. There could be a Salesforce, for example, that you're using, right? Or there could be a Workday that you're using for your HR systems, whatever, right? Are you able to connect to these connectors with the erstwhile platform that you have? That's number one. Or is it only limited to your emails and your Teams and your SharePoints, right? So you have to get out of that. We are not only working within your email or your collaborative suite that we have, or your productivity suite as we call them, right? We are going out of that. You'll have to also connect to your CRM systems, your SAP systems, all of these, right? And then along with that also have the agents read your emails as well. The good part is, while of course I say that Google Workspace, it's a first party product, of course we'll have great integration there. Gemini Enterprise app already has great integration with the Microsoft Office suite as well. I'll go into detail on the question that you asked about specific agents, and we'll cover that as part of our demo as well. So yes, the answer is yes, it has to be more specific, but it should not limit the context to be specific to one app. The context should be from everywhere and not just from your productivity suite, right? So what we are doing, this is exactly what I wanted to show, right? So you start with your productivity suite, which is Google Workspace. In your case, it could be Microsoft Suite 0365. It's okay. All of us will have a SSO between that we log into that gives us access to our emails, Teams, whatnot, right? So you start there. You power it up or connect it to your Gemini Enterprise application. Once you have that, you can then start connecting to all the connectors that we've shown here and a lot more, right? We can show and flash a list of the connectors available. There is the advent of MCP that has been acknowledged and also sort of being used by everyone today, right? Even players like Databricks, for example, or any other system have started and come out and they are giving away MCP servers from themselves. Google, as Google Cloud, we also provide a lot of MCP servers. So for the ones that you don't see in this list or the list that we'll flash, there is a way to connect to those systems as well. So in a nutshell, you're not, like I mentioned, you're not connecting to XYZ systems only. You could possibly connect to any system. If you have an internal hosted sort of API system, a big system that you have, you can actually export it or sort of have a MCP hosted in front of it, and then it can connect to those API servers as well, right? Without you having the need to manually explain which API is doing what. Yes, please. Yeah. UCP is the Universal Commerce Protocol. It's essentially for retail customers or a place where payments can come in and go. So for example, think of an RFP or an RFI or a PO that you create in your organization. Once you process a PO, a vendor will come in, they will give you a bill, that invoice needs to be, paid. Now there could be an agent, right now I think what would be happening at your place is you create a PO, you get the whatever you asked for delivered, then here the vendor will send, let's say, an invoice, and you pay them, right, within a span of 30 days. Can this be automated? Yes. It's by Google, but it's open source, just like A2A, just like MCP. It works with A2A. All of these protocols, whether it is A2A, MCP, all of this will come together to make sure that this platform supports all of that, and it is able to do all of that. So for example, what you need with UCP in that case would be, let's say, a payments gateway or someone, whoever is taking the payment on the other side, if they are supporting UCP, let the agent connect through UCP, give the payment automatically. And of course, you can put in the guardrails, right? So for example, if a PO is under X amount, you can automatically pay it. If there is a higher amount and you feel that there is some sort of flagging done by the agent, then you can put human in the loop to make sure that no automatic payments are done, stuff like that. So there's quite a lot of control. These are very good protocols that are there, of course, still evolving, but the versions out there that are running today are good enough for you to go ahead and use it, right? And some of the bigger players are actually doing that. And this is global, right? Because we are not only talking about India as a region, people outside in the global US regions are already doing this on scale. So yeah, so what we do, right? So Gemini Enterprise is an application, remember, can orchestrate the entire context. Everything across all of your applications, something that it can understand. You start by typing, you start by creating your agents by yourself. Some of the agents which are out of the box are also shown here, and we'll cover that as well. Right? So essentially what we want to say is, think of different departments. What a marketing team is doing, what your sales team is doing today. Think of the processes that you have, the workflows that you have in your organization, and how you can, or where these agents fit in. What is the backend system that your agents can connect to? What might be the type of connector you need? Is it something that's out of the box? Is it something that you can use an MCP to connect to? Give that access to the agent. Make sure you have the right guardrails, and then just connect, right? And then let the agent do, right? So what we've done is, some of our customers are using this to get this output, right? So for marketing, a lot of people are using to increase the campaign ROI, right? Instead of reaching out to 30 people, I am creating personalized messages. So for example, all of us might be receiving a lot of WhatsApp messages, images, as well as text. Buy this insurance, do this, XYZ, right? Earlier, there used to be the same email, same WhatsApp that was given to all of us with just the name change, right? So for me, it'd say, Dear Varun, the rest of the content remained the same. For Sanjeev, it would be the Dear Sanjeev, and the content would remain the same. With AI, we have today the power where, if I have the data for Varun, the message can be personalized for Varun itself, right? Including generating maybe my image, including generating maybe, let's say I'm trying to take a vehicle, I can actually create an image which shows me sitting in that particular vehicle, and that is sent out to me, right? Just to increase the kind of engagement that we have, right? Just to increase sales. So all of these departments within your organizations are or can run agents today, right? This is something that we are already doing with a lot of our customers. A lot of the tools that I mentioned are already present here, right? So your Sheets, your CRMs, your Docs, Salesforce, your Office connectivity, your Workday, HR, think of all the processes, right? All of this is something that's available. And how do we, yes? Yeah.
In the previous slide, assuming these are all individual agents, how do we ensure reasonable transparency and traceability?
Absolutely. That's a good question, and that's part of the platform. Like the system, or rather the slide that I was showing here, the last part. This is actually covered as part of the platform itself. There is, in great detail, you can go into understanding not only the usage and the transparency behind the agents, as to what agent is doing, what system did it connect to, what was the output given by the system, what did the agent understand, and what did it interpret, right? All of that is, of course, available, but you can go into details and try and also get to look at the value that is created. So for example, if I as a person am going to run a particular process, and let's say I know that the RFP example I gave or the PO example that I gave, it might take me 30 minutes if I do it manually. If the agent does it, it does in 5 minutes, and I don't have to sit in front of the screen for that 5 minutes. So technically, I'm saving somewhere around 30 minutes as an employee, right? So you can track these metrics, right? You can understand, try and see how much time does an agent take for a particular process versus how much time a human used to take, and then try and derive to some value that you can come out to. Yes, please. Yes, please. Sorry.
See, we have unified the observability stack, whether you are having agents that are sitting in the Gemini Enterprise, or if you are building your own agents, which, you know, the industry term is custom agents, whether you are building all of this, at the end of the day, you are going to be able to publish the observability into our unified observability stack. And that is a place where you can get all of the usage metrics, you know, how your how all of these backends are performing, how are all of your tools performing, how is the agent's latency looking like, and a whole bunch of things. What I would suggest is to all of you, join us to one of our booths where we can show you how all of these things work together.
Yeah.
One question.
Yes.
See, in all the big organizations, generally there are different business units. They create their own set of agents.
Correct.
Many people don't know they are using agents.
Correct.
Right? So it's like shadow IT, shadow AI getting created within the organization, right? And they are using different kind of things, right? They might be using Claude
Correct.
agents, right? Your thing as well,
Absolutely.
Microsoft,
Yeah.
then N8N, Crew AI, all these platforms, right? There are plethora of things, right? People are
Absolutely.
confused. Wherever they find comfort, they go and create something, try and automate the workflow. Now with all this heterogeneity, right, in the environment, how will Google fit in and will talk to all of them, right?
Yeah.
MCP servers is one I understand, but I mean, maybe I think it's more than that, right?
It's absolutely more than that, and it's good. What Sanjeev, the context that Sanjeev is giving is absolutely on point with the question that you have, right? We don't want to limit you to a closed system. That's number one. The reason why we started, or rather Naren also gave an example of things like A2A, etc., or us adopting MCP, right? MCP was erstwhile created by Anthropic, right? But you see it is being used by everyone now. That's exactly what we want to do. You should not be limiting agents to be created only on X platform. You do it here, you get it, you'll see how easy it is to create it here, and that's why you'll not go anywhere else. But still, if you have already created these agents, these could be running on frameworks that, again, could be an open framework like LangChain, LangGraph, right? It doesn't need to be ADK. All you need to do is what Sanjeev is mentioning, there is an agent registry as well. There are more moving parts to this application which can actually register agents that are not running on Google as well. They can be registered here. The A2A spec card, right? So you'll have an A2A. So if your existing agents can talk to any other agent, they can be hosted anywhere. That's okay. What you'll see, and when we go through the demo, you'll see that how easy it is to create an agent here. That's why you'll not, even if you have those, you can keep it and register it here. The new agents you'll automatically start creating here because it's so easy. But rest assured that for the majority sort of heterogeneous options available, there is support for majority of the open source things that you have. So like I mentioned, LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI, all of this is supported. You create an agent there. If that agent has an endpoint and it is supporting A2A, you can bring it here. You can govern it also, rather, right? A2A, so A2A is generally anyhow. So even if you have something like N8N, internally, if it is an agentic platform, it will be talking to other agents using A2A. That's how it is. So if it supports A2A, you can bring it here. If it does not support A2A today, you can still add support for A2A because most of these platforms do support A2A in some way, form or the other. Right? Yes, sir. Yes, that's absolutely right. So when we say bring it here, you register it here. It can still be running. Your existing agents, wherever they are running, let it run there. You'll register it here with the endpoint. There is a session that I'll give at 2:30 where I'll show all of this, where you can literally add something from outside here. But yes, you can just register it here, let it run wherever it is, and still make it talk to the agents that you've created here.
Hi,
Yes.
Varun. Okay. I work for National Carrier of India. So I work with a lot of enterprises, right? Sita and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, one of a common problem that I frequently see is that how do we make sure that in this agent orchestration the context aware remains the same?
Absolutely.
Because see, I talk to Honeywell, I talk to Sita, I talk to Airbus, a lot of that I do. So the problem that what we deal with is the context aware switches.
Right.
I might be working on one side, I might be working on another side. Now I want one final output, right?
See,
And I cannot have billions of tokens being spent because I have more better work to work on.
So there is a way in which you can do it here. I know how to do it, right? And I'll probably, like Sanjeev mentioned, if you come down to our booth, we'll explain this in detail, but I'll still give you an answer on this, right? When you come and create agents here, by default, the context remains, right? It is based on two things. It is users, which will create sessions, and then the erstwhile memory of the agent itself, right? Now, the agent memory, you can have like a in-session memory, which goes away with the session. You can have something like a long-term memory, which could be inside a database, and whenever a particular user with X session calls it back, you can bring in that memory back as well, right? And then the third one is short-term memory, which you'll probably keep for 7 days, something which is more exhaustive. 7 days it goes away, you start creating again, the agent will again, if for people like someone who's on the field and working on a project for a week or two, you can keep that sort of. So it depends on the agent. You can control all the context that you have. Creating agents and registering it is not a problem. Things like these are the real problem, right? Because today there is no one thing that gives all of this together. If they have context awareness, they'll not have governance. If they have governance, they'll not have security. Right. 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 No, I understand what you're saying. The good part is we can work on this. Yes.
Yeah, so what you're looking for is essentially the memory bank service that we have.
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, whatever is the interesting parts of the conversation, it could be about the customer mentioning a warehouse name, or it could be an airport name, and you want that to be registered for the long term. You can push that into the agent platform's memory bank service, and it's going to be there long term. And it is also a per user sort of an isolation that you can bring there. See, the really cool part about the memory bank service is that it can also do mutation. So let's say you're talking about Airbus right now, and you're changing the customer name into, let's say, Boeing, okay? The memory bank understands that you have changed the customer's name from Airbus to Boeing. You don't have to worry about it in your orchestration logic. The memory bank will take care of it. Again, Varun has a brilliant session around 2:30. Would really urge all of you to attend that. And you can also join us by the booth where we can showcase some of these services across your points of interest.
Yes, please.
Parts to it. One is agentic AI. The
Correct.
other is the enterprise readiness.
Correct.
So how much investment you think an enterprise has to invest to make it, all the application, because enterprise is having application from last 60 years, correct? Some are very old, still running on
Right.
COBOL, some are in C++, some are in Java. So how much you think, investment has to done by enterprise to make this agent friendly?
I'm so happy these questions are coming because it's literally making our job easier and not have to explain all of this. Thank you for the question, right? The good part is you don't have to invest into creating new tools now, right? The idea is that we bring the platform to you which will connect to your existing systems. There is nothing that you need to do on top of the existing systems. That's where the connectors come in, right? So you have something like a SAP, right? You have something which has been running like from 20 years. The only thing that you might need to do in places would be And I'm sure if you have something like your own APIs, right, which is not connecting to a third-party system, you have your own setup, you have your own APIs that goes and connects to your own databases. Today, we also have the power to connect to your erstwhile database directly. So if you have a system like Oracle, we'll connect directly to Oracle. Remove that API layer from between. But if there is still some custom API logic that you have, you just front-end it with an MCP, and that's all. And I'm sure if you have the capability to write those APIs, it's much easier today to go ahead and write an MCP for the existing systems. Yes.
So just adding to Varun there, if you see the first layer of that stack, right, it says agents and applications. Some of those are available directly as a SaaS platform for you. SaaS platform means you can just get it rolled out in your enterprise, within just a few weeks, and the value also, you are able to realize it quickly. And then as you keep going down, let's say you want to build extremely complex logic and you want to execute all of that, that is where you get into the platforms and you can go all the way to AI hypercomputer, which needs some level of investment. But let's say if you want to quickly get started, that is where the agents and the applications part come in.
Right. So the reason why I brought up this slide specifically is to give all of you a gist of why this platform is different, right? Today, what you see this here on this particular slide is something that is no other player is able to give, right? You start with infrastructure and chips. Why do we need infrastructure or chips, right? We need to power the LLMs. Tomorrow, if NVIDIA thinks that the prices of their chips has to go up, then the cost of LLMs will inherently go up, right? Because everyone outside is running those LLMs on those chips. We don't do that. We have the option, of course, to go ahead and give NVIDIA. There was a question around other models also. If you want to use Claude, you have that option here already. If you're creating an agent where you, let's say, have 5 sub-agents running in one top agent, and that one of these agents you want to use Claude, the other you want to use something like Llama, feel free, right? We have that option already. So how do we do that is because we have our own chips, right? All of Gemini that you see, the benchmark solutions or the leaderboard that we are on is running, the models are running on the same chips that we create, right? So TPUs, we have our own TPUs, we don't depend on the market to make sure that, and that's why you'll see that models like Gemini are the cheapest, not just the best, but also the cheapest. It's so efficient that we know how the TPU works. We've made sure that the model is efficient enough to run on that system perfectly. Right? That's one. Then you go to data. Like I mentioned and Sanjeev was mentioning, your data will come from either your SaaS applications or like you mentioned from an application that you would have invested 60 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 20 years ago, right? So how do you connect to that data? We have a data warehouse platform also. So you start there. Then there is research in models. Out of the models that I already spoke, the top ones that we know about, we spoke about Claude. There's of course Gemini, there could be Llama, other models, open models as well, right? You can still get that here. Then you go to the platform and protocols. We're speaking about the platform. We spoke about protocols. I'll give you a gist of the other things as well. And finally, you come to the agents that you create. So all of this comes together into one platform. This is that one stack that will give you everything, along with being open, right? Like I mentioned, feel free to, if you have an existing agent running, you think it is doing well for you, it's not hosted in Google, bring it here, register it here, and make the new agents talk to your old agents. But the moment you start creating agents here, you'll see it's so easy that you'll actually automatically move away from your systems and come here, right? So, yes. It won't. The good part is with a lot of infrastructure that you want to create. So let's say there is a specific agent where you feel that you need scale. We are working today with the biggest conglomerates that we have in India. And the conglomerates in India are really huge, right? Because the users behind these conglomerates is actually us, right? So we have a lot of users, right? So all of these users, conglomerates today, our customers today are using these systems to power these agents as well. The good part is you'll have customization options when you go to specific agents also. So if you feel there is a high code agent that is customer facing and you need to control maybe how it auto scales, how much memory it should have, etc., all of that is available. So that option is given. So rest assured, we'll take care of it.
So you can also scale test your agents and the tools that they access. there are various framework-led functions that are available you can do. And in general, you can also apply things like rate limiting, throttling, and so on, which again comes as part of the agent gateway and the API management layers that we have around. I think we will have to move on to the demo
Yes.
because we want to ensure that all of you get on time to attend the keynote.
Yes. So, wait for the demo, yes. So what we want to do is, we'll do a small role play, right? I'll act as, we are both part of Symbol LLC. I take care of marketing and EV business. Sanjeev, my friend here, is leading the retail as well as the HR business, right? So I'll act as someone who is very new to the agentic era, and Sanjeev here is already our champion. So Sanjeev, please, if you can come and help me.
So if it was a retro Bollywood movie, we would have just attached a mole or just
Yeah.
changed our glasses. But right now, just assume that we are the leaders at Symbol LLC. Yeah, I think we can get started. Kick it off, Varun.
Yes. Okay, so brand new day, a new Monday. I have heard something new has come up in AI, like all of us have been doing over the last year, right? So this is what happens. I walk into the office, I know one of my leaders is pretty savvy with all the AI knowledge that he has. I'm just trying and coming up and trying to get a sense of what and how he does what he does, right? So let me start. Hey Sanjeev, good morning, man.
Hey Varun, good morning.
Hey Sanjeev, over the weekend, my phone was blowing up. There is something new called as model something protocol. I don't know, they're calling it MCP. I don't even know what the C stands for, man. Now, I need to learn this. I downloaded about 10 PDFs. Then someone told me you should go and see some research paper that they've created on top of this. I downloaded that as well. Boss, I cannot make sense of it. Like, where do I start? How do I learn this?
See, MCP definitely can become a heavy subject, but learning that need not be an uphill task. I'm going to show you a quick trick that I use. We have got this Gemini Enterprise as a platform. We have deployed it in our organization, and there is this neat little nifty tool that comes along with Gemini Enterprise, which is called as Notebook LM. And you said you wanted to learn about MCP, right?
Yes.
So you just log into Notebook LM, and as you can see, you can add whatever sources of information that you want. This could be any PDFs, any books that you want to add as a reference. Over here, I do not really have MCP sources, so I'm just going to say model context protocol, right? So I'm just giving simple keywords on the topics that I want to learn, and I click on submit. You can see that Notebook LM automatically goes and discovers the sources that contain, the best-in-class information about MCP. And you will see all of the technical articles show up. And once they do, we can import it, and you can start asking questions. For the sake of speed, I do have MCP already loaded. Maybe I can show it to you. So you can see it's bringing the articles and the publications coming in from the top technical resources, and you can start asking whatever questions you want.
Again, isn't this just a summarizer? You're giving me a chat interface again. I don't really want that. I don't have the time. What happens, Sanjeev, and you know this better than me, the commute to office is 2 hours a day, man. Can I not have a different way to interact with this?
So there are some amazing ways in which you can interact with Notebook LM. First off, asking whatever questions, because it is an expert. It is not a summarizer. But let's say you do not have so much time. You want to understand it with just some quick slides. We can pull that up.
The Explainer. Today, we're going to
you can also generate videos on the
AI
topic.
agents to securely interact with the real
Wait a
world
minute.
at an
You're saying Notebook LM has just generated a video from the content that either I create or it searches?
Absolutely. So the way how many of us learn is not just by looking at text. Sometimes videos are a much better form of consuming information. So it can give you, video. And if you're like me, who is typically stuck in Bangalore traffic, I use these podcasts So yeah, you can just go and click on this podcast. I download it and I listen to
Welcome
it.
to today's deep dive.
So
This is cool, man. What else can it do? So
Proprietary brick
what else can it do?
for a camera. None of them.
yeah. So what it generates is a podcast of, you have two hosts and they ask questions to each other and then they also interactively explain the concept to you. So that's a really cool way of doing it. And it's not just about learning technical topics. You can even understand certain really in-depth legal, sales,
Absolutely.
topics as well. Yeah.
Hey, I see something called a slide deck also. What does that do?
So the slide deck helps you generate slides. Again, and you can generate a quick slide deck.
Man,
And,
so you're saying I can generate this podcast on my way back home, consume this while I'm sitting in the comfort of my car, create a slide, tomorrow present the same slide to my team.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. You can do that. It's sad that we do not have good internet connectivity here, but the moment you do, the moment it loads, you will be, it is chunking everything into beautiful
Amazing,
set of
man.
topics.
Okay,
And-
so this is, you mentioned personal, I started with personal learning. You mentioned also cases like legal, anything that you have to compare, any process that you have. I understand that. But what about real problems? You know, we are launching a EV in 2027, right? And there is some real research that I need to do. Now I need to understand, what will be the market trends in 2027? Is there any battery tech enhancement that are coming in?
Yeah.
Is there a new upgrade to, whatever customers are looking for?
Yeah.
So I need a research like this. And generally,
So, see, we just talked about Notebook LM. Notebook LM is pretty much for personalized learning.
Yeah.
If you want to do deeper research, then we have this deep research agent that is, again, part of the Gemini Enterprise as well. And you will see this deep research agent was actually built by the Gemini Enterprise folks alongside the DeepMind. It does really cool things. It typically goes through several research publications. It goes through, again, the top industry content and builds a point of view around the concepts and the topics that you want.
So normally my team takes about 6 to 8 weeks to come up with a report like this, right?
Yeah.
And of course it really costs me a fortune. How soon can I get this done?
So you don't really need to wait for 4 to 6 weeks. Again, I'm sure that your team will be doing a lot of contextual research as well.
Yeah.
But if you just want to quickly move fast and get a point of view out, you can ask the deep research agent and typically responds to you within like 10 minutes. It's just for your prompt. It scrolls through the entire internet and builds the information for you.
You mentioned context as well, and that's something really important. There's already some work that's done by my team. Can we also put it into the existing research papers that it'll look for if I connect it to my systems?
Yeah. So absolutely. So this particular system is connected to all of your internal platforms as well. And let's say if you have PDFs that are sitting across your drive or OneDrive, you can bring all of that and add it as part of your research so that it becomes very contextual for your teams.
Sanjeev, this is amazing.
I have just created a simple EV market trends and analysis.
Oh, wow.
You can see it showing up. And over here, you can see it has pulled certain information from my mail. It has pulled some information from the,
Yeah, that's my drive, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, you can see it has gotten it from the drives and so on. Yeah, this is quite powerful, man. It does a lot of work for you.
I think I'll get my promotion this year. You're saving a lot of money for me by just giving this report to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. So the two use cases that I mentioned are still, providing me as an employee a value by, increasing my efficiency, making sure that I learn something new. Then I also saved a lot of money for my organization. But let's come to the larger workforce, right? I'll go back to my marketing team. They are amazing. I have a great set of marketing people with me, and they write some amazing blogs, right? Where we are struggling today, with this advent of a lot of these social media platforms, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, X, you have to be everywhere, right? To market anything that we come out with. What I see that, I see there is a gap in my team where we are writing amazing blog posts, which is long format. But marketing of this small format is a bit difficult. We are not able to get the tonality right according to our brand guidelines. Is there an option that you can do that? Because this is a repetitive process, right? We are spending hours daily just to, create a small content of something that we already have put in effort for.
See, this is typically called as the tone of voice struggle.
Correct.
If you're thinking about any agents or LLMs, think of it like an unmolded clay. And if you just ask it to do certain magic tricks like just create, maybe write my email or write this blog post, it'll do it based on whatever it does, and it typically feels very generic. And that is where you will have to load it with certain additional context, so it is able to grasp whatever that you are thinking and what you want to do and execute it.
Right.
Okay. And for this, I have a neat little feature that I can show it to you. So typically, let's say you want to build a marketing agent just for voice. Just go about.
But Sanjeev, wait, I'll stop you here, right? Dude, I am not a coder. I don't know how to code. So if you're telling me to create an agent, I'll first have to go through Notebook LM, learn how to code. I don't have that time again. And coding is something that I can't really just consume while driving and come back to and create an agent.
But what if I tell you that you can build an agent without learning even a single syntax or a line of code? What if I show you a trick around that?
I would be very interested.
Okay.
Please.
So check this out. We just went to the Gemini Enterprise Create New Agent. I selected Chat Agent. And you see now I have an ability to create agent right from here. You can specify this as like a no-code instruction. Just provide your prompt. But if you want it to do slightly advanced things, again, you can go to this agent builder, which is part of the platform.
So I'm interested in seeing how do you get the tone of voice right? Because I have my standard set of brand guidelines. How does agent connect to that?
Let me show that to you. So you asked for the agent to be created. So let's just, I have this agent, the configuration right now. So I'm just going to provide the details. Let's just call it as a brand aligned social media assistant. And I will just add some additional description, like, it takes a blog post and converts that into a nice LinkedIn or an Instagram post in the tone of voice. And I can add additional instructions, right? So I'm just going to say you are an expert, and so on. Okay. While this helps fine-tune the responses quite a bit, organizations just like ours, Symbol, we all have our own brand and tone guidelines. That can again be added as part of the knowledge, so that the responses truly reflect some of those elements. So here I can select knowledge, I can upload file. You see.
Yeah, I think I have it in 001 folder somewhere. If you have it, just scroll down. Yeah, that's the one.
So we have the Symbol Tech brand guidelines here. I'm going to upload it.
So all of this that you've written as part of the instructions is plain English?
It's just plain English.
Okay.
And yeah, you just go through a few iterations, just see the responses, and based on that you can fine tune it. It's quite easy.
Can you show me an output of how this might look like?
So I've just gone about creating the agent. So now you have an agent, and tell me, Varun, how many lines of code did you write?
I saw you copy paste something, and I think the total would be 20 lines.
Yeah, but that is...
I think I can do that.
Yeah, that is pure English, English.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Sentences, right?
No code.
So as long as you are able to write an email, you should be good with respect to
Makes
creating
sense,
an
yes.
agent. So yeah, just for the sake of time here, I do have this already available for us.
Wow, man, you've
yeah.
done your homework really well.
Absolutely. So here I have the same agent and I have passed on the blog post. And that was the primary instruction that
Correct.
we told the agent that you will receive a blog post, just go through it and give me a nice LinkedIn and Twitter post for it that is aligned to our brand. And you can see here it has created based on the
Wow, man, I see these things coming directly from my knowledge. It's picked up that automatically.
Oh, yeah. So it is quite grounded across the knowledge that you pass. And therefore, it does not stride away from, your enterprise way of doing things.
Lovely.
Right?
Okay, I think that's really cool. Thank
Yeah,
you, Sanjeev.
and just for
Yeah.
one final trick, what you could do is just have all of these posts, and if you want to add like a really nice video, just you can tell the agent to generate a video around whatever that you had just talked to it about, and yeah, it does create some
dude.
fancy ones.
This is really cool, man.
Yeah.
So I think we can now push out at least 100 marketing posts a day with this.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just go.
This is
blast
amazing.
the social media. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I also, if you saw that closely, there was a schedule also. You can automatically run this agent on scheduled intervals automatically. So yes, it can be done. Yes. Absolutely. You can share these agents very easily. We don't want to hold you here. There is a keynote starting. We are happy to take all of these questions at
Yeah.
our booth.
Please join us by the Art of
you
Impossible
can
booths.
join the
and-
actual keynote and then come back to our booths. We'll be there to answer all your questions. Yeah. Thank you
Cool.
so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.